We gave your seat to William's girlfriend, my mom texted after I funded the whole $12,800 Italy trip. I said, then let her cover the bills, and I canceled everything before their plane even landed. I glared at the notification on my screen, the little bouncing dots mocking me like more disrespect was about to follow. The message came from my mom, short and casual, as if she hadn't just thrown away 3 months of organizing and flushed $12,800 of my saving. We gave your seat to William's girlfriend. She's more fun. No apology. No reasoning. Just a smug slap typed out without emotion. My reply was just as brief, understood. Then I did what nobody expected. I shut down the whole trip. Tickets, hotel bookings, all of it. Couldn't get the money back. Didn't bother me. I paid for it. I'd destroy it. That same evening, I changed the locks to the house. It was legally mine anyway. They had stayed there rent-free for 5 full years laughing behind my back. Now it was my chance to laugh. But let me rewind. Let me explain how I got to the point where I could ruin a family holiday, triple my parents' rent, and cut off my golden boy brother like a problem I should have dealt with long ago. It began with one dumb belief that I could be the loyal son. My father was turning 65, a milestone, and I thought, what better way to celebrate than a family vacation to Italy? He had always mentioned wanting to see cherry blossoms in Florence before his knees gave out. My mom treated sushi like a sacred ritual. William, my younger brother, said he wanted to try authentic ramen, not the cheap instant kind. So I did exactly what people told me not to. I paid for everything, $12,000 total for airfare, hotels, train tickets, even reservations at restaurants. I planned the schedule while balancing work projects, spent weekends checking how close the hotels were to tourist spots and shopping areas, comparing transportation costs. I even paid extra to upgrade their flight seats. I didn't care about comfort for myself. I picked a basic seat in a tiny room in Naples because I believe this is what love looked like. But William always finds a way to remind me what I am in this family. Not important, not exciting, just the bank account. So when I saw the message, we gave your seat to William's girlfriend. She's more fun. I didn't feel shocked. I felt awake. And that kind of awareness in someone who's been taken advantage of too long becomes dangerous. They always assumed I'd stay silent until I didn't. It began with guilt. That's how they keep you hooked. Not with care, not with duty, just guilt. My parents never directly asked me to cover costs, no. They use subtle lines. William is doing his best, but these days are tough for young folks. You're lucky to have work. Not everyone does. We're proud of you, honestly. We only wish William had your ambition. At the start, I paid because I felt it was fair. As my little brother, I thought helping him graduate was the right thing. I paid his fees, bought his books, even replaced his laptop when his old one suddenly stopped working 2 weeks before his exams. But the support quickly turned into obligation. 3 months after he graduated, he hadn't even looked for work. He said he was still figuring stuff out while playing FIFA on my couch every day. I'd come home from a long 12-hour day to find him eating food I paid for with his feet on the coffee table in a house I owned. Mom would say, he just needs space. Don't push him, sweetie. Dad wouldn't even glance up from his tablet. Let him be, he'd mutter as if I were causing trouble. Things got worse when William got a girlfriend. Evelyn, as she demanded I call her, moved in just 2 months after they met. No talk. No rent. Just appeared. She took over my kitchen, streamed shows on my Netflix, used my Wi-Fi nonstop. One evening, I caught her wearing my dress shoes for a TikTok video. I'm acting out a role, she said with a grin. Don't be uptight. William laughed. Dude, calm down. She's hilarious. That word, hilarious, still echoes in my mind. I remained quiet. I kept covering their costs because they were relatives, because Dad would be upset if we argued, because you earn plenty. When William got fired from the position I helped him land after being late 3 times in the first week, I took care of his auto payments to stop his credit score from crashing. When Evelyn wrecked her previous car, I co-applied for a second-hand Mazda with the paperwork under my name. Foolish. I realize that now. and when they randomly told us they wanted to tag along for Dad's birthday getaway, I didn't hesitate. I changed the schedule, booked extra hotel rooms, rearranged all the plans. I even moved around my own vacation days at work to make it work. And what did I receive in exchange? "We gave your place to William's girlfriend. She's more entertaining." That wasn't just a rude comment. It was a confirmation. One sentence proved what I'd always assumed. To them, I wasn't enjoyable, appreciated, or even acknowledged. I was just practical, like a debit card that could walk. And the worst thing? I allowed all of it, but they weren't finished. Not at all. The morning they landed in Italy, I received a message from William. "Hey, can you transfer us some extra cash? Evelyn forgot her wallet, and Dad says the currency rates suck." I ignored it. 60 minutes later, another ping. "Dude, don't be bitter. This trip's for Dad, not about your feelings." I almost smashed the phone in frustration. They had taken my seat, my journey, my one moment. And even after all that, they still demanded more, but I stayed silent. I let them enjoy themselves. I let them post happy, edited clips of fake togetherness while I sat alone in an empty home, drowning in a fury I didn't know how to explain until the 5th day of the trip. That's when the hotel called. "Mr. Austin, we're calling because the card on the booking failed, and there's an issue with one of the guests. Someone not listed was added to the suite." And just like that, I understood everything. They had removed me and swapped Evelyn in without telling the hotel, and they updated my card information to cover her costs. They thought I wouldn't notice, but that was the real moment, not the insult, not the cash, not even being left out of my father's birthday celebration. It was their assumption that I tolerate it, that I always would. So I logged into my online banking, disputed the charges, canceled the credit card, and called the hotel again. "Please remove every person. The whole booking is void. Also, notify security if they resist. They don't have permission to stay." The staff member hesitated. "Sir, they're still inside the suite." "I'm aware," I said. "They can figure out their own way back." When they returned and discovered that everything had shifted, I was making coffee in the kitchen as I heard the vehicle door slam shut. Shouting followed. One voice nervous, my mother's voice screechy, William yelling, Evelyn's tone louder and angrier than both. I didn't rush. I stirred my drink slowly and waited. Then came the loud knocks, bang, bang, bang. "Open up," William yelled. "We know you're inside." I walked to the entrance, mug in hand, and looked through the peephole. There they stood, faces flushed, hair messy, bags dumped on the porch. Evelyn wasn't wearing shoes. I opened the bolt, cracked the door just enough to meet their eyes. "What happened to our keys?" William demanded. I took a sip from my mug. "Oh, the ones I had broken into pieces, those don't open anything anymore." "For real, man," he barked. "Is this actually happening?" I nodded. Calm and serious, my mom stepped forward. "We just came off a 14-hour plane ride. We're tired and starving." "You're on private land," I said. "You shouldn't be here." "You're kidding, right?" Evelyn interrupted, voice sharp and irritated. "You're seriously shutting your own relatives out?" I stared at her a few seconds, then replied without emotion. "You're not my relatives." Her mouth dropped open. William looked stunned. "Wow. Really?" He said. "We were stuck in Naples. No money, no hotel room, no signal. You have no clue how hard that was." "Sounds rough," I said. "Must be awful being stuck abroad on someone else's dime." "Oh, wait. That's what you did." William's face turned red. "You embarrassed us. You shut everything down. We couldn't even book a ride to the airport. The bank froze the cards, everything." "Right," I answered, crossing my arms. "That usually happens when you commit card abuse." Mom gasped. "Abuse? That's crazy." "Stop pretending," I said plainly. I lifted my phone. Screen lit up with a pause shot of the hotel manager's message. "Unauthorized person, charges reversed." "William," I asked, "did you or didn't you put Evelyn on the hotel room using my identity?" He opened his mouth then shut it, then turned toward Evelyn. She raised her shoulders like she didn't care. I stepped to the side so they could glance into the house, though barely anything remained. The sofa, removed. The table, gone. Every item they used to sprawl on like it belonged to them, given away. The walls were plain. I had cleared out all of it. You took everything out of the house, Mom said, moving forward. No, I answered. My house, William's fist tightened. We stayed here for years and never paid a cent. I added, never helped, never showed respect. Mom's face twisted up. We're blood. This is disgusting. You're treating us like criminals over one bad choice. I let out a short laugh. One mistake? You hijacked the trip I planned, misused my card, kicked me out of something I built for Dad's birthday. All because I wasn't entertaining enough? Are you even hearing yourselves? You're just bitter, Evelyn muttered, rolling her eyes. You're only upset because we had more fun without you. That's when I walked all the way out and closed the door behind me. You think this is about Italy? I said softly. You honestly believe this is about one vacation? This is about everything I gave up for you, every bit of money I handed over, every time I let you live here for free while you laughed at me behind my back. We never, Mom began. Yes, I interrupted. You did. Every one of you. And now I'm through. William stared at me like I was speaking another language. So we're just on the street now? No, I told him. You have 14 days. The rent is now 3 times more. You're covering all bills. The extra guest room is locked. If you want to stay, you start paying. He scoffed. You're joking. Evelyn crossed her arms. You can't kick us out like that. Oh, but I can, I said, pulling a document from my coat pocket. This is the rental agreement. It's valid. It's over. And by the way, your cards were declined this morning at that coffee place. I got the alert on my phone. Silence hit hard. I turned to go back inside. William reached out, grabbed my arm. Wait, please, he begged, voice shaking. You don't get it. I've got nowhere else to go. Evelyn thought this trip would help us be closer. She didn't try to hurt you. Evelyn opened her mouth, but stopped herself. William's eyes were wet. He was crying. I looked at him, really looked, and felt absolutely nothing. No sympathy, no anger, just a blank cold stillness. You used to be my brother, I told him, but you picked fun over family. That's not love. That's a reality show. Then I turned, walked back inside, locked the door, and left them standing in the wind. They came back to a different life, one where I no longer existed. 3 days. That's how long it took before things actually fell apart. The morning after they got back, it was dead quiet, too quiet. I expected drama, shouting, emotional guilt, message spam in the group chat, but nothing happened. I ate breakfast by myself, just coffee, a buttered roll, and a strange sense of peace I hadn't felt in years. Not silence you can hear, but the kind you carry inside. By day 4, my phone buzzed. Can we talk? Mom, I regret everything. We all did wrong. Don't do this to Dad. I didn't answer. Not because I had no words, but because I owed them nothing. For the first time in my life, I didn't feel forced to explain myself to people who never actually cared. Then the real disaster started. Their cards stopped working. Evelyn tried to get a coffee, twice rejected. I saw the alert and grinned. She posted, "Some people are just spiteful." Deleted it 5 minutes later. As for the rent, a week later, the new contract began. The new rate, 3 times what it was before. A notice popped up in my inbox. Hey, we're having a hard time managing the updated rent amount. Could we chat about some other choices? No signature, only the shared family login. I said nothing. William, who spent multiple years doing nothing in my home without ever holding steady employment, suddenly began picking up small side job. A guy I know from the gym told me William was now folding laundry at the entrance desk. I didn't feel bad. I had relocated to a compact loft-style place downtown. Bare flooring, large glass windows, clean layout. No family mess, no random shoes crowding the hallway, no leftovers that weren't mine sitting around. I woke at 7 a.m., hit the gym, logged into work from my place, went walking in the evening, and for the first time in a long time, every minute, every penny, every breath was under my control. No messages begging for grocery money, no sob stories asking for tiny handouts until Friday. No phone calls from mom saying, "But it's your sibling. How can you ignore him?" Only stillness. In the second week, William finally messaged, "I understand I messed things up. Seriously, Evelyn left. She said this wasn't what she agreed to. I finally see you were right." I stared at his message for a while. This was the same William who mocked my goals, said I was boring, and claimed I didn't enjoy life. Now he was abandoned, left behind by his fun girlfriend, stuck cleaning up the consequences without his human debit card. I didn't say anything. Then came the real shocker, a letter from legal representative. "Your folks are asserting that they partly own your property. My lawyer said they were claiming that over time, they'd helped financially and now wanted paperwork. Up to now, they've shown nothing." I laughed, not because it amused me, but because it was too ridiculous to treat seriously. They always acted like anything I bought somehow belonged to them too. I remembered my mom once saying, "This is everyone's house, darling. If it's yours, it's also ours." But today, ours meant absolutely zero. Another note from mom came through. "We didn't raise you like this. Imagine what your father would think." I answered this time. "You raised me to obey you." That's over. The part that surprised me most wasn't their raid. It was how quickly their whole world collapsed without me. William was pulling 10-hour shifts, barely keeping up with bills. Mom began calling up old contacts, the same ones she used to laugh at for having children who wouldn't help anymore. Dad stayed wordless as usual. He never opened his mouth in arguments, never took sides when cruelty happened. His loyalty was to doing nothing, and now they were trapped in the exact life they created, one where I didn't exist to rescue anyone. And me, I was stretched out on a different sofa in a different apartment, sipping hot coffee. No one complained. Nothing in the room except what I selected. For once in my life, I wasn't someone's tool. For once, I wasn't required to be the dependable one for people who never returned the favor. And for once, I wasn't furious. I felt free. I had never been the issue. I had been the one holding it together. They were the ones who took, and silence, sometimes it's louder than yelling. It's now been 90 days since I shut it all down. No more free living. No more big brother favors. No more acting like family meant care when it actually meant control. I thought I'd feel regret, maybe sadness, or even isolation, but instead, I feel something deeper, calm. Now I wake up without a knot in my chest, without expecting another demand, another guilt-coated favor. I don't flinch when my phone rings. I don't brace myself for messages masked as concern, but actually full of pressure. It's like walking out of thick fog. I can finally take full breaths. 7 days ago, while unpacking boxes at my new apartment, I found an old container. Inside were pictures, birthday letters, and one folder labeled family. I opened it. Inside were plane tickets, receipts from trips I funded, hotel bookings in my name. It hit me hard. Every family memory was paid for using my wallet. They said I lacked warmth, but I was the only one keeping things going. I flipped through the pictures. In each one, I was grinning, handing things out, driving people, paying tabs, organizing details. Everyone else was relaxed, like passengers in a vehicle someone else was steering. I once believed that made me strong. Now I realize it made me invisible. They didn't care for me. They cared for what I gave. And when I stopped giving, they stopped pretending to love. William hasn't texted me since Evelyn walked out. I heard from someone we both know that he's living in someone's basement and working as a food delivery guy. For the first time, I didn't feel above him. I felt absolutely zero because now whatever happens in his world isn't my burden. Evelyn wiped her profiles, erased every picture of us, removed the whole family from her accounts. The entertainment ended the second the free perks disappeared. My mother sent her last message. "We didn't bring you up to behave like this. We miss how you used to be." I responded, "You're missing the version of me who never refused." He's not here anymore. My father remained wordless. Naturally. He always did. Years went by while he quietly watched disaster unfold, sipping coffee and never stepping in. He never raised his voice, never lifted a hand. He just observed. And truthfully, that was more painful. It made his involvement passive but still destructive. I gave up on hoping for peace from them, so I created it for myself. One evening, I sat in silent. No screen. No messages. Just me holding dark coffee, staring out at glowing windows in nearby building. For the first time in forever, the stillness didn't feel hollow. It felt deserved. That night, I grabbed a sticky slip, wrote a sentence, and stuck it to my mirror. Nobody is owed more than what I owe myself. Every day since, I've repeated it silently like a personal ritual. Strangely, the same people who drained me now call me cold. They say, "You're not who you were." They're correct. I used to be the floor they walked over. Now I'm the sea they can't pass. A few days earlier, William's old partner, Anna, reached out. We barely exchanged words when they were a couple, but she had always been kind and reserved. She said, "You were the only one who noticed how wrong it was, the way they acted toward you. I'm glad you walked away. You saved yourself." It landed harder than I expected because I had started to wonder if I was the reason. Anna reminded me that I wasn't losing my mind. I had just woken up first. I used to believe leaving made me uncaring. Now I realize it was protection. They always told me love meant giving things up, but it was never their turn. It was always mine. They labeled me heartless. I call it vision. They said I was unkind. I call it recovery. They called me selfish, but only after I stopped belonging to them. And the best part, I feel no hatred. I don't want them to hurt. I just don't owe them one more thing. And that release, it's like breathing clean air for the first time. Next week, I'm flying.